Thank you for tuning in to another IMS Reality Help tutorial. For the purpose of this video, I'm using an older Chicago database, but your program will have an up-to-date database for the MLS you required. This video will explain one of our most visually stunning functions of the program, graphs. If at any point you have questions about any graph, don't forget to read the help files by clicking on any blue and white question mark beside any item in the drop-down menu, or the blue and white eye icons on most pages. Now that you become a master of the filter section, it's time to put those carefully selected filters to use. Using our graph function, you can create extremely detailed graphs on a number of important topics when it comes to buying or selling a home. Graphs are the perfect way to impress your clients at listing presentations and show them that you're an expert in your field and you know exactly what you're talking about. Let's say you have a listing presentation for a client in the city of Arlington Heights. We'll go to our filters and put in all the information that we know about our potential listing. Let's start with the city, Arlington Heights, and add it to your search criteria. Now, using your filters again, you can enter everything you know about that potential listing. How many bedrooms it has, how many bathrooms, you can narrow it to a zip code, a style of home, a type of home. Let's choose detached single. Again, you can filter as much information or as little information as you like. We'll leave it with Arlington Heights, 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, detached single. Now, let's produce some graphs for our listing presentation. We'll start with average days on market. Everyone wants to know, how fast can you sell my home? Here you'll see what the sales were like in the last 12 months of the year. How fast homes sold. In this case, August appears to be the quickest month, 19 days to sell that home in Arlington Heights. You can scroll through all the graphs by using this little blue and white arrow, choosing the graphs that you need for your client. We're going to scroll through to the average price graph. When you get to the average price graph, you'll notice something in the top right corner. This is the return on investment for this type of home. So, if your client bought that home last September for $293,547, which was the average price of a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom detached single in Arlington Heights, and sold it a year later for $323,357, they had made a 10.2% return on their investment. Well, that's pretty good. Now, there's many reasons to show or hide that information. If you have a client who's looked at a home and they say, "Hey, Susie, I love that home you showed me, but is that going to be a good investment for me?" Again, you can enter all the information regarding that home that you showed them, go to your average price graph, and be able to tell them immediately whether it is a good investment or not a good investment. That way, if it's a -10, you could suggest, well, let's look at a different neighborhood or a different city or a specific zip code within Arlington Heights until you find a better return on investment. Not everyone wants to buy a home simply to live in it the rest of their life. Some people want to buy homes as investments. This will show you what you need to know. This can also work if you've got a listing and it's taking you a while to sell it. And the client says, "Hey, Susie, it's been 3 months. Why isn't my house sold?" Again, when you put in their information, if you see a big negative here, a -20 or worse, that could be a reason, and you have an explanation for your client that your home isn't selling because it's not a great investment. You could even do this ahead of time before taking a listing in order to see if it's a great investment. If it's not, you may not take that listing. So once you've got the graphs that you want to impress your client with, you can print them. They'll print up full page. Or you can even go into a print setup and customize it. Instead of having the information Arlington Heights, 3-bedroom, 2-bath, your client knows what they're selling. You can now say, "I prepared this for Mrs. Smith at her particular address." You can even add a custom tagline to sell your home faster. Call Esther and your phone number. Save the information, and now that will print on your graphs. Mrs. Smith will be impressed that you have actually done some work and given her something that is valid and important to what she is selling. It surprises me how many agents show up to listing meetings without anything for a client, just feeling like they can dazzle them with their blarney. That no longer works. Clients want to see someone who is prepared and informed, and using this program will allow you to be both. So once you've determined the graphs you want, you'll print them up, you'll put them in your flyer, and you'll give them to Mrs. Smith once you're doing your presentation. Now, I've had agents call me to say, "Wow, these graphs really work." Several have called me in the last few months to say, "It's the first time I used graphs on a listing meeting, and I got the listing and I was told it was because of those great graphs." So we know it works. You will be informed and your client will be happy. Once you've got all the information you need and the graphs you've printed, you can choose many different styles, many different colors, and tailor your graphs to what you need. Once you're finished with your information, you can clear your search and start again. However, if you have another listing presentation, say in Arlington Heights, with slightly different information, you can go into this search and now remove or enter information you need. So say the next listing meeting you have is in Arlington Heights, but it's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom. You can change your information here rather than going through your filters. Finish your search. You'll see that your search criteria has changed, and you'll see that your graph has changed accordingly. Once you're finished, clear your search, click on your Reality House logo, and you're back at the beginning of your program.